Hi guys, it's Isa and welcome back to another video. Have you been in the situation in which after reading Brandon Sanderson you don't know what to read next? Well, I am exactly there. I'm somewhat a little bit sad because last year I had such an amazing reading year. I read a bunch of Brandon Sanderson's book. I went through book 2, 3 and 4 of the Stormlight Archive. I've reread Elantris, read Warbreaker, went through the different stories of Skyward, and then now I'm like,
alright, then what's next?
and there's no clear path. So what I'm doing in this video is that I'm gonna be researching the internet, trying to figure it out what are the best books to read after Brandon Sanderson, and hopefully, just kind of feeling fulfilled again, especially after reading Stormlight. I'm like, nah, that's cool. I'm reading other stuff, but am I loving that other stuff as much?
No.
So I'm gonna be watching some videos of booktubers, getting into Reddit, Quora, analyzing, like as a detective. And my idea is to create a list of books that are kind of the most recommended to read afterwards. I want to narrow it down to 5-7 books that I will be sharing in this video. And then afterwards, in a part 2 of this video that hopefully will happen around March, I will be doing the "Was that really true?" kind of challenge, because I'm going to be reading those 5-7 books and assess if that is true, which I'm really hoping that is true. So without further ado, let's go into the research. Hi, let's start the investigation. No, okay, I think I got it. All right. So it's been a minute since I started the investigation. It actually took me a few hours, but now I have a list of different books that I think are
very interesting.
I will link the channels that I investigated down below, as well as the different links that I thought was really useful, because at the end of the day, I'm also making somehow my assessment. But now I want to share with you the list. So I narrowed the list to around 10 books. And from those, I'm just going to pick 5 because I think that's reasonable, and most of them are series. So I really want to continue with series if those seems interesting enough. We have The Black Prism, Promise of Blood, Unsold, Red Rising, His Majesty Dragon, A Darker Shade of Magic, Kings of the Wild, The Shadow of What Was Lost, We Ride the Storm, The Grace of Kings, and The Assassin's Apprentice. All of them actually sound pretty cool. Let me know down below in the comments if after I share the list of the top 5 you agree with this, because I still can change it. So if you think that there's other books that you'd like me to read, just let me know down below. If there's other book that you think it's fantastic for that purpose,
please share.
Sharing is caring, so share. There are 2 books in this top 5 compilation that were actually recommended by Brandon. So he already did this work, and so the first one that he recommended is The Black Prism. And this book talks about this main man that is
the prism,
and it seems that he is the most powerful man in the kingdom. He is the high priest and the emperor, and he is kind of in charge of ensuring that the peace remains. However, it seems that the life of the prisms never lasts, and he has the days counted. And one day he discovers that he has a son in a farther land, and he will need to face the decision of what he's willing to pay to protect this secret. Enticing. And the second one, and was also recommended by him, is His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. And this book is supposed to remind us of the relationship between Kaladin and Syl, which I loved. And it seems that follows kind of a retelling of the Napoleonic Wars with fantasy. and dragons. And we will follow this general that upon destroying some of the enemy's lines and taking their stuff, he finds this unedged egg of a dragon. And when this dragon emerges, he will need to take care of it and start training the dragon. And then changing a little bit of gears, we have King of the Wild,
which
it seems such a great book, and it has this found family kind of vibe, and this will follow a band of mercenaries that are not together anymore, but one day the daughter of one of the members of the band disappears, and this band need to get together and fight monsters in order to save this daughter. This seems to be an epic fantasy story with a lot of banter and a lot of very charismatic characters. It seems that it also has a lot of reference to music, which I'm really curious to see what it's all about. The fourth one is The Shadow of What Was Lost. And this book, it's supposed to remind us of this epic fantasy story with a very great and huge scope, and you know, this magic that it's rare and it's emerging again, which sounds right down my alley. And this will follow this world in which the augurs, these kind of godlike people that were able to predict the future, were overthrown. And now the people that serve these augurs, the ones that have kind of the gift but not as much, are now kind of working through the new empire. And it seems that it's really controlled and they need to be really tamed. And one day, one of the main characters will start to show a little bit of this augur's power, starting a chain reaction of events that will change the future of this land. And it seems really good. And last but not least, and this was also recommended by Kudo Brandon, we have Promise of Blood. And this is supposed to give us really Dalinar vibes.
And he's one of my favorites.
So I'm really hoping this actually gives me these vibes, and this will follow our main character as he has been in charge of overthrowing the king, and he is really relying on the mages of Edir's empire as well as in the marksmen in order to maintain the peace, because there's a lot of different factions that still fights him. And it seems that there's whispers of the gods waking up again and walking just with us, which is a really dangerous, and it seems that will also suppose a grave danger to this land. So, and that was it for today. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments what are the books that you would read after Brandon Sanderson, or what are the ones that I should pick if you don't agree with the list. And I really hope to see you soon in another video.